This question is, how would you describe your relationship with your family, and how do you think that affects you as a mother?
My my relationship with my family is actually really good right now. It wasn't I think it's better now than it was when I was younger.
Okay.
It wasn't as good when I was a teenager. And I actually haven't lived with them or even close to them for several years before Roman was born. I lived in San Diego,
Okay.
and they were still over here. It really helps being a mom because he gets so much more interaction and love just from everybody, and it helps with school and stuff. I think that without my family, I probably wouldn't be able to do as much as I'm doing right now.
Right.
I don't know if that's the answer you're looking for.
Cool. That's a great answer.
I don't know where you went. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
No, that's not ours. Go back and play. He's like, I don't know, she's distracted. I can get away with stuff.
Right.
Okay.
So the next question is, what goals and aspirations did you have before becoming a mother? How have they changed, and how have they influenced your personal success?
Well, my goals were really similar to the goals that I have now.
Okay.
They haven't really changed much. I went to school to be an esthetician. I wanted to be a makeup artist and then work my way through college and live out in San Diego and travel. Those were some goals that I had.
Okay.
I'm still doing that. I do makeup partly for a living, and I am going to school. My goal, I think, eventually will be to travel in the future, but right now it's just to finish school.
Okay.
I want to get a degree and then eventually move back to San Diego because I love it there.
Cool. Sounds good.
I think the only thing that's really changed is like having him be a part of it.
Right.
Like, being a mom, and in addition to everything, and just like taking him along with me, and like if where I'm living is going to be good for him, like the school systems and all of that. So that's the only thing that's really changed is like you just have to think about more than just yourself.
Cool. Nice. Okay. Describe some experiences of pregnancy in young motherhood, and like what are the biggest challenges, socially, economically, personally, or whichever.
That's Bernie. That's my son.
Hey.
My boyfriend and my son's father. Okay.
So yeah, just describe the experience of pregnancy in young motherhood and the biggest challenges, socially, economically, personally, and like how have you overcome those issues?
Okay. Pregnancy was not that fun for me. It actually kind of sucked. I gained like 70 pounds. I was at like 204 pounds when I gave birth.
Wow.
So I couldn't like really some women are like have good pregnancies and they're like glowing and they exercise a lot. I couldn't even like go to Walmart for 15 minutes. I was exhausted. I'd be like leaning on the shopping cart. It was really lame. And then like giving birth was like, I had a C-section that was really hard. I actually my anesthesia did not take. So halfway through the C-section, I started to feel it. And that kind of prevented me from being able to go back to school right away. And having to move here prevented me, when I got pregnant, from going to school. Like you can't go to school really when you're pregnant because you don't know if you're going to have to quit in the middle of the semester or something, because you give birth. And it affected that. Socially, you kind of your whole social life changes. It does. Mine was kind of affected by the move. But then it's harder to make friends when you're pregnant just because you can't do things that you would do with a friend. Like if you go out and have a glass of wine or two, you can't do that when you're pregnant or when you're breastfeeding. So And especially in Athens when it's like mostly bars, there's actually like not a diaper changing table at any restaurant in like all of downtown.
Wow.
Yeah, I've looked. So those things were kind of difficult. I think like making friends is more difficult, and also like kind of like melding being like young and being yourself, and you know having your personality with also being a mom, and like trying to figure out who you are like and relate that to other people. I think that's kind of difficult too. So I think maybe that's one of the most challenging things is like social interaction. Also because you want like it's harder like to relate to people who don't have kids because they don't understand some things like at all. You know, so like I don't know, it's hard to explain.
Yeah, no, that's great. How have your experiences influenced the way you will teach your child about sex education, motherhood, or fatherhood, and relationships?
Hopefully, you know, in the fatherhood department, he'll be fine. I don't know what I can teach him about that. Hopefully we'll but about sex education, like I think a more realistic approach would be better. Like I don't think that it's very realistic to just continually teach abstinence because that's not going to, people don't adhere to that, you know, and it's not like for this time, it's you know just not the norm. So you have to teach, even if you think that that's like a, you know, should be a goal, you have to have like normal expectations because everybody is human. And I hope like that he'll know about that and know that like the responsibilities that would come along with you know sex and things like that, and that if he, you know, did end up in having a child at a young age, that he would take responsibility. I would not stand for him not taking responsibility at all, especially because I mean just there's so many men out there who think that, you know, it's the woman's responsibility, or the woman, you know, who gets pregnant, so she should, you know, be the mom, or even if they're in the picture, sometimes they get more social activities and like less responsibility. And my son is not going to learn that's okay whatsoever. No, he's going to be like right there, you know, the whole time if that happened to him. So I'm going to teach him that, hopefully, better values than I think a lot of kids are taught. And I don't want to put that gender roles and expectations. I want his to be different and more equal than you know some people are taught.
Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, the last question is, how would you define your life situation as of now?
Actually, I'm pretty happy. I'm happy to be. The only problem is I would rather have like our own place. We can't afford our own place right now. I mean, we technically could probably get a small apartment, but it wouldn't be good for him. He's really happy here. Like you can see like all his toys and outside
everywhere.
But I'm happy being close to my family. I get to go to school and work regularly. I don't really have any problems with that. I get time with my son. Me and my boyfriend, we switch off schedules a lot too. So it's really good. It's a good situation. Like I'm really at a better place in my life now than I was when I was single and doing my own thing. I've made a lot worse decisions, and I think I've come a long way because I got pregnant. I think that actually turned my life around for the better. And then if I didn't, I don't actually know where I would be now. So because I have like a past history of not being that responsible.
As we all do. Well, thank you. That's all the questions we have. Do you have anything you want to say?
No, that was great.
Thank you so much. Great. We really appreciate it.
Good. I'm glad that